So I recently purchased the pre-wired Fender Noiseless pickups. My current Strat is an older 2004 model, and it uses the regular single coils, and I was getting tired of the hum when I was recording. So after doing some research, I came across the Noiseless series, and Sweetwater offered this pre-wired pickguard, so I thought, hey, why not? Let's try it out and see if it sounds any better or worse. So I decided to make a vlog-style video, and you can watch me install it, and at the end we'll do a before and after and see how it sounds. Once you open the box, you'll see the pre-wired pickguard, and it comes right out. You can lift it right up. Here is what the front looks like, and when you turn it over, you'll see all the wiring, and taped up is all the wires that we have to install. Also included in the box is a handy instruction guide, which was actually pretty useful to see where the wires go. This is the side profile of the pickups. I was kind of questioning this middle piece because I wasn't sure if they were supposed to have a tilt like that or not. I messed around with it for a little bit, but I decided to keep it as is. I peeled the plastic off before the installation so none of it would get stuck under the screws. So while I'm prepping this guitar for installation, let me tell you a little history about this instrument. So this guitar was gifted to me by my dad back in, I want to say, middle school, and I've put a lot of hours on this thing. It's a 2004 50th anniversary Stratocaster. Here's a picture of me playing it at a high school talent show. Since this thing has such sentimental value, I wasn't sure if I wanted to modify the guitar or not, but I decided since it's not a permanent thing, I can always switch back if I don't like it, so it was worth trying it out anyways. I'm not exactly sure what these existing pickups are. I tried looking it up, but it was hard to find an exact answer. I undid the 2 screws of the input jack, and that popped right out. Here I am unscrewing the grounding wire that connects to the body. Next I am unsoldering and disconnecting the existing wires from the input jack. When I was a kid, I tried self-repairing a noisy input jack by resoldering the wires, but I think I added too much solder, so here is me sucking all that up. Next I had to undo the grounding wire on the tremolo claw. Once all those wires are disconnected, the entire pickguard should come right out. I wasn't sure how it got so dusty and dirty in there, but I try my best to wipe it all up and get it nice and clean. I thought it would be a good idea to install some copper foil as shielding, but it turns out I didn't research it enough, and I ended up installing it and pulling it all out at the end because it was causing some grounding issues because I didn't do it right. So just ignore the shielding in this video. I did a sloppy job, and I'm going to have to go back and do it again. So right here I'm pointing to the 2 wires that you have to slip through the body there and pull in towards your input jack. These are going to be what we're going to solder onto the input jack. I just loosely attached the wires through the holes in the jack and twisted them so they're slightly secured, and then I went ahead and soldered them down. Next I'm reattaching that grounding screw that attaches to the main body. Finally, I'm grabbing that 3rd grounding wire, and I'm fishing it through the back of the guitar, and I'm pulling it out, and that's when I will finally solder it back to the tremolo claw. Then I just stuffed everything back in and placed the pickguard on, and I screwed everything back together. I used this opportunity to give my guitar a nice cleaning. I used the Dunlop 65 guitar polish and cleaner, and I just gave it a good wipe down on every part. Since I already decided to mod this guitar a little bit, I went ahead and bought some of these Fender locking tuners. The installation's super easy. You just unscrew the nut on the old tuners, and then you can give it a little tap and the entire assembly will pop right out. To install the new ones, it's straightforward. Just add the new tuner, place down the washer, tighten up the nut, and you're pretty much good to go. And here is me uninstalling all the new tuners I just put in because I didn't realize the locking heads were different. So pay attention when you do that. The ones I'm showing here on the right are supposed to be for the lower 3 strings. So next I plug it in and I'm going to give it a test. And here is that grounding issue I was telling you about from the shielding, and that's why I ended up pulling everything out. So I just went ahead and started tapping each pickup with a screwdriver to test it. Make sure your pickup selector is in the right position or you won't get any volume like I did here. I also went ahead and tested the tone knobs, make sure they were functional. Next, I'm going to restring the guitar. I use the Elixir OptiWeb in 10s. To use locking tuners is pretty simple. You just unscrew it, and then you can place your string right into the hole. Then you just pull the string tight. You don't have to do any pre-winding or anything. Then you just tighten the locking screw on the bottom, and then you can just go ahead and tune. Another thing I like to do is add some lubrication on the nut. My local guitar shop sells this Big Ben's nut sauce. It really helps with tuning stability, especially on my Les Paul, but I'm going to add it here as well. Alright, so we're about to move on to testing, and for the testing I did the same lick 5 times on the old pickups and on the new pickups, so hopefully we can get a fair result of what each sound like. I did my best to gain match in my editing software, but there still might be some variance, so keep that in mind. And if you made it this far in the video, if you want to consider subscribing, that would mean a lot to me. So let's get into the testing. The lick I played is from the song Rain by Ruben Wan, and I have a cover of that on my channel if you want to check that out. So overall, I think I'm pretty happy with the pickups. They definitely eliminated the 60 cycle hum that's been bothering me. So when I record and I'm putting it through a bunch of guitar pedals, a bunch of compressors, and I'm manipulating the sound a lot, that hum is no longer in the way. So I can actually use some of the more pickup positions that I have been avoiding in the past. I do think that it did lose some of that bite that a normal Stratocaster usually has, and the new tone's a little more rounded and a little bit more muted compared to the other one, but it's so subtle that it's very hard to tell, and the trade-off of losing that 60 cycle hum is actually worth it in my opinion. I don't know if I'll keep it installed. I might switch back, but for now I'm gonna give it a fair shake and make a couple songs with it and see how it comes out. So let me know what you think in the comments. Do you hear the difference? Should I switch back? I would love to hear all your thoughts. But for now, that's all I got for you. So thanks for stopping by and thanks for hanging out.